August 2016, Geneva, Switzerland. CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. The most complex machine ever built sits 100 meters beneath your feet. It is 2 a.m. The facility is closed to the public, but someone is recording. You are watching what appears to be a ritual sacrifice right there on the grounds of the world's largest particle physics laboratory. The video went viral in hours. Millions of views, thousands of shares. People demanded answers. CERN called it a prank. But here is the problem. The people in that video had access to the facility. They knew the security codes. They filmed it at the feet of a statue that should not even be there, a Hindu god of destruction and creation gifted by the Indian government, standing watch over an underground tunnel where scientists smash particles together at nearly the speed of light. So, was it really just a joke, or were they showing us something CERN did not want us to see? I avoided this story for years. CERN conspiracy theories are everywhere. Black holes that will swallow the earth, portals to other dimensions, secret experiments that shifted our reality. Most of it sounded ridiculous. Even then, I started digging into what actually happened at CERN between 2008 and 2016, and I found something I was not expecting. The official story has holes, not the conspiracy theories. Those are easy to explain. I am talking about the things CERN did try to keep quiet. The documents they released months later instead of immediately. The safety reports with limited access restrictions. The experiments they are running right now that sound exactly like what the conspiracy theorists warned us about. Here is what I found. September 19th, 2008, 11:18 a.m. Central European summertime. The Large Hadron Collider had been running for exactly 9 days. Yes, 9 days. Scientists around the world were celebrating decades of planning, billions of dollars. The most ambitious physics experiment in human history has finally operational. Then something went wrong. Faulty electrical connection between two magnets created a resistive voltage. An electrical arc formed. Superheated helium cooled to just above absolute zero to keep the magnet stable, suddenly vaporized. The pressure wave was catastrophic. 700 meters of the tunnel were damaged. Soot-like contamination spread through the beam pipes. Multilayer insulation blankets were destroyed. The entire facility had to shut down, not for days, not for weeks, for over a year. CERN told the public it was a technical failure, a bad weld, an engineering problem, and you know what? That's exactly what it was. But here is the thing that bothers me. The investigation that was kept behind closed doors for months. The task force that analyzed the incident met in secret. Their data was stored on a protected EDMS website with a limited access list. When they finally released the full report in February 2009, 5 months after the incident, it was detailed, professional, transparent. So why did they wait? This was not the first time a massive energy experiment made people nervous. June 30, 1908, Tunguska, Siberia. Something exploded in the sky with the force of 185 Hiroshima bombs. Trees were flattened for 800 square miles. The shockwave circled the earth twice. Witnesses said the sky split open. They saw a column of blue light. Some reported a second sun. For decades, people said it was aliens, a UFO crash, a nuclear weapon test before nuclear weapons existed. Scientists now say it was a meteor, an airburst, a natural phenomenon. But here is what is interesting. The event was so powerful and so unexplained that it became the default comparison for anything humanity could not understand. Sound familiar? Fast forward to 1952. The United States launches Project Blue Book. For 17 years, the Air Force officially investigated UFO sightings. They collected over 12,000 reports. Their conclusion, 90% were misidentifications, whether balloons, aircraft, natural phenomena, but 10% remained unexplained. The government said, "We investigated, we found nothing dangerous." Case closed. The public heard, "They are hiding something." March 1989, University of Utah. Two scientists, Feliciaman and Pons, announce they have achieved cold fusion, nuclear fusion at room temperature, in a jar on a table. If true, it would change everything. Free energy, no pollution, the end of the fossil fuel era. The media exploded with excitement. Then the scientist community tried to replace it. Most could not. The claims fell apart under scrutiny. Cold fusion became a punchline. But dedicated research communities still exist today. They still believe both were onto something. They say the mainstream scientists established shut them down because they threatened too many powerful interests. You see the pattern. A massive unexplained energy event, an official investigation that takes too long or explains too little, and a public that is left wondering, are they protecting us or are they protecting themselves? CERN fits perfectly into this pattern. But the 2008 incident was not the moment CERN's conspiracy theories exploded. That came 4 years later. July 4th, 2012, CERN announced they had found it. The Higgs boson, the so-called God particle, the missing piece of the standard model of physics, the particle that gives everything in the universe mass. It was one of the greatest scientific discoveries in human history. Peter Higgs and Francois Englert won the Nobel Prize in Physics the next year for predicting its existence nearly 50 years earlier. Fabiola Gianotti, the Atlas spokesperson who presented the data, said, "I still get goosebumps." The scientific community celebrated. The internet panicked. Within weeks, a story went viral. CERN scientists had accidentally destroyed our reality. We had all shifted into a parallel universe. The proof? Our memories did not match reality anymore. People remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, but he died in 2013. They remembered the Bernstein beer spelled with an E. It is spelled with an A. They remember Sinbad starring in a movie called Shazam. That movie never existed. The theory became known as the Mandela effect. And according to the viral story, CERN scientists had confessed they had torn reality apart on July 4th, 2012, and we were now living in a patched together alternate dimension. I read that story. I saw the quote. It looked legitimate. So I tracked down the source. The story came from Waterford Whisper News, an Irish satirical website. Think The Onion, but European. It was a joke. The headline was satire. The quotes were made up. The entire thing was designed to mock conspiracy theorists. But here is what happened next. Someone shared it without the context. Another person shared that. Then another. Within days, the satirical disclaimer disappeared. The article was reposted on conspiracy blogs as fact. YouTubers made videos about it. Comment sections exploded with people sharing their own shifted reality experiences. PolitiFact had to officially debunk it in 2024, 12 years later, because people still believe it is real. And I get it. The story felt true because something about 2012 does feel different to a lot of people. The world got stranger after that, politics got weirder, technology moved faster, our sense of shared reality started fracturing. But CERN did not cause that. At least that is what the official story says. Because there is one thing about the Higgs discovery that does not quite add up. The Higgs boson they found, it matched the standard model predictions almost perfectly. Almost. Scientists have been studying that particle for over a decade now, and they are looking for something specific: deviations, tiny differences between what the standard model predicts and what they actually measure. According to a University of Chicago physicist, any small deviation in its expected properties from the standard model could be a major breakthrough. Wait, read that again. They want to find deviations. They are actively searching for proof that the standard model is incomplete. Because if the Higgs behave exactly as predicted, that is the end of the story. Physics is solved. We are done. But if it behaves differently even slightly, that means there is something beyond the standard model. New physics, new dimensions, new particles we have never detected. And here is where it gets interesting. In December 2024, just 10 months ago, CERN published research about their ongoing search for mediator particles that could connect our visible universe to what they call a hidden valley or a dark sector, a hidden realm. They are literally searching for a doorway to something we cannot see. Now, I want you to stop and think about that for 5 seconds. Yeah, the conspiracy theories say CERN is trying to open a portal to another dimension. Or do you think they have opened it but they have kept it secret? CERN says no, that is ridiculous. But their own research papers describe searching for particles that act as bridges between our universe and a hidden one. So which is it? Let me be clear about what CERN actually says. CERN has a public FAQ that directly addresses the conspiracy theories. Will CERN open a door to another dimension? No. Will CERN generate a black hole? No. Their explanation when physicists talk about hidden dimensions or dark sectors, they are talking about quantum phenomena, subatomic particles, things that exist at scales billions of times smaller than an atom. Not doorways you can walk through, not portals to hell. Think of it like this: your cell phone uses radio waves, you can't see them, they pass through walls, they connect you to towers miles away. That does not mean your phone is opening a portal to another dimension. It is using invisible waves that exist in this dimension. That is what CERN means by hidden particles. They are here, we just can't detect them easily. After the 2008 incident, CERN formed a task force that included external experts from Fermilab in the United States. They investigated openly. They published a 70-page technical report. When the 2016 ritual video went viral, CERN immediately condemned it. They called it a prank. They said they don't tolerate that kind of behavior. Everything CERN has done has been transparent, right? Reviewed, public. And yet, the official narrative. 2008, technical failure, bad electrical connection, equipment damaged, facility repaired, investigation complete. 2012, Higgs boson discovered exactly as predicted. Nobel Prize awarded, science wins. 2016, stupid prank, employees disciplined, nothing to see here. Clean, simple, rational. But does that really explain why these conspiracy theories won't die? Let us go below the surface. The 2008 task force report was eventually made public, but during the investigation, the meeting data was restricted, available only to a limited access list on a protected internal website. CERN says this is standard procedure. Technical investigations require confidentiality until they are complete. Fair enough, but when you are running the most scrutinized scientific experiment in human history, is 5 months of silence really the best policy? While CERN was carefully preparing their technical report, the interest was filling the silence with speculation. And here is the thing about information vacuums. They don't stay empty. The 2016 ritual video, CERN called it a prank, but the people in the video had security access. They knew when to film. They knew where the cameras were. They were insiders. CERN said they were pranksters. How it is possible in the secured area? But why would CERN employ scientists, engineers, educated people think that filming a fake human sacrifice at the feet of Hindu god of destruction was funny? What were they mocking? What did they know that we do not know? The Shiva statue. Here is what they never addressed. The Shiva statue at CERN is not just decoration, it is a gift from India. It depicts Shiva Nataraja, the cosmic dancer who creates and destroys universe. CERN's official explanation, it is metaphor, the Big Bang, creation through destruction, particles colliding and forming new matter. Beautiful symbolism. But in Hindu cosmology, Shiva's dance does not just represent creation, it represents the end of the cosmic cycle, the dissolution of reality itself. Why would you put that symbol at the entrance to an experiment that smashes particles together 40 billion times per second? Is it paranoia to notice a pattern, or is it a pattern recognition? Let us talk about the patterns that show up when you look deeper. There is a claim that has been circulating online for years. I could not verify it through official sources, but the visual evidence is compelling enough that we need to address it. CERN supposedly has glass sheets throughout the facility with greetings printed in every language, including dead languages: Egyptian, Phoenician, Aramaic. The ALICE experiment does use thin sheets of standard window glass in its multi-gap resistive plate chambers. These glass sheets are real. They are technical components for detecting particles. But the languages supposedly engraved on them, I searched official CERN documentation, virtual tours, photo archives, nothing. So either this is completely fabricated or it is one of those details that exist but is not officially documented. But here is why the story persists. Dead languages on glass sheets in a machine that smashes particles together. That sounds like a ritual. It looks like someone is trying to communicate with something beyond our reality. And that brings us to the one name that keeps appearing in this story. The name that CERN has never officially acknowledged. Max Cell. Around 2016, a 13-year-old named Max Sloan supposedly invented a device to extract zero-point energy, free energy pulled from quantum vacuum. The story went viral. Child prodigy solves energy crisis. YouTube videos, interviews, millions of views. His concept involved quantum physics, electromagnetic fields, the kind of theoretical work that scientists at CERN study. And then, according to the conspiracy narrative, he disappeared from public life. Now, I need to be very clear here. I could not verify Max's disappearance through any credible journalistic or scientific sources. No missing person report, no family statement, no official records. What I can verify is that his story has become a cornerstone of the CERN conspiracy. The narrative goes like this. A kid figured out something powerful, something that threatened existing power structure, and he was silenced. If Max is 22 years old now, living normal life away from the internet spotlight, then this is just a story about a kid who got overwhelmed by viral fame and stepped back. But if something else happened, that is the question the conspiracy theorists keep asking, and CERN has never commented on it, not once. So let us look at competing theories, what could actually be happening at CERN. Theory 1, nothing usual. CERN is exactly what it claims to be, a particle physics laboratory. The 2008 incident was an engineering failure. The 2012 discovery was legitimate science. The 2016 video was a stupid prank. Motive? None. They are doing fundamental research, means they have the world's most powerful particle accelerator. Opportunity, they operate in multiple countries with international oversight. Logical gap. If everything is innocent, why does temporary information control during technical investigation fuel so much distrust, while let insiders film a mock sacrifice that damages the facility's credibility? Theory number 2, accidental discovery. CERN found something during the Higgs research, a genuine anomaly, evidence of extra dimensions or particles that don't fit the standard model. They are studying it quietly because they don't fully understand it yet. Motive: scientific caution. Don't announce something world-changing until you are certain. Means access to the most sensitive detection equipment on Earth. Opportunity: the hidden value research is real. They are openly publishing papers about searching for mediator particles to hidden sectors. If they found something truly anomalous, peer review and replication would require transparency. You can't keep a physics breakthrough secret when dozens of countries and thousands of scientists have access to the data. The last theory: deliberate portal research. CERN knows exactly what they are doing. The collider is not just for finding particles, it is for testing whether high energy collisions can create stable wormholes or dimensional tears at quantum scales. Understanding the fundamental structure of space-time, possibly defense application, possibly energy applications. The LHC reaches energy levels never before achieved by human technology. The Awake experiment, operational since 2016, uses plasma and proton beams in configurations that conspiracy theorists claim would stabilize exotic phenomena. The Awake experiment is real. It uses laser pulse synchronized to within 100 picoseconds, that is 100 trillionths of a second, to a proton bunch traveling through a 10-meter plasma chamber. Its goal is to accelerate electrons more efficiently, to build smaller, cheaper particle acceleration. But here is what bothers me. The level of precision required for Awake is extraordinary. The energy levels are massive. The plasma creates conditions that don't naturally exist on Earth. They have successfully accelerated electrons from 19 million electron volts to over 2 billion electron volts in just 10 meters. That's not just incremental progress, that is a fundamental leap in what is possible. If this is just about building cheaper accelerators, why does it require simulating conditions that only exist in the hearts of stars or during the first microseconds after the Big Bang? And now we arrive at the deepest layer, the question that cannot be answered, the things authorities refuse to address. If CERN accidentally created a microscopic black hole, how would we know? Black holes at LHC energies would evaporate instantly through Hawking radiation. But Hawking radiation has never been observed. It is theoretical prediction. If high energy particle collisions are creating brief, unstable connections to other dimensions at quantum scales, would we even have the instruments to detect it? Some physicists argue we are looking for the wrong signature. But if the instrument can't see it and the theory predicts it, how do you prove it? It is not happening. These are the questions that haunt the investigation. Not because there is the evidence of a cover-up, but because there are questions that science as currently practiced cannot answer. Maybe we don't know is not good enough. So what can we actually verify? The 2000 incident was exactly what CERN said it was. The Higgs boson discovery was legitimate. The 2016 ritual video was a prank. That's what we know for certain. But here is what does not add up. The 5 months delay in releasing the 2008 investigation. The Mandela effect story came from satire. The research into hidden valleys and mediator particles is real. CERN is literally searching for connections to realm we don't see. They are exactly doing what the conspiracy theorists accuse them of doing. So, is the problem that CERN is hiding something? Or is the problem that they are being completely honest about research that sounds like science fiction? Here is what haunts me about this story. If not, whether CERN is secretly opening portals, they are probably not. It is not whether the Mandela effect is real. It is cognitive bias with satirical origin story. We live in an age where scientific institutions can be completely transparent, publishing reports, sharing data, answering questions, and still be accused of hiding the truth. We live in an age where a satirical headline can become accepted fact because it feels true. We live in an age where the difference between searching for quantum mediator particles and opening portal to hell is lost in translation between scientists and public. Right now, 100 meters beneath Switzerland and France, protons are colliding 40 million times per second. Scientists are searching for deviations from known physics, looking for evidence of dimensions we can't see. They are doing exactly what they say they are doing. The question is, do we understand what that means? Or are we just waiting for the moment when someone at CERN finally says the words we are all afraid to hear, we found something and we don't know what it is? Do you think CERN is hiding something? Or is the conspiracy theory more interesting than the critical science? If you had access to all CERN's data, every experiment, every result, would you even know what you were looking at? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Because the truth about CERN is not hidden in their data. It is hidden in why we need to believe they are lying.